Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles, and I should probably explain the relevance of today's video title, although I'm sure most of you probably get it. There's a very popular mod for World of Tanks called XVM, and one of the things that XVM does is it colour codes the various different players on your team according to their WNA rating, which is a way of evaluating just how good a World of Tanks player is. Now, if you're particularly bad at World of Tanks, XVM is going to colour you up on the team list in a nice bright red colour as a warning to everybody around you to not expect you to do anything useful in the game. And that bright red colour in the team list, although I'm not actually using XVM, has led to the popular nickname in World of Tanks of Tomato for players who absolutely suck. One of the other things that XVM does is it will predict your team's chance of winning any given match. And Mr. J17 in the T54 lightweights team here has a 22% predicted chance of winning this game. And if you have a look at the map, you won't be at all surprised. The entire team, with the exception of Mr. J in the T54 lightweight and the T49, have barely moved more than 50 metres away from the spawn point, and they're all camping the ridge overlooking the middle of the valley. And the T49 has decided, screw you guys, I'm not dying out there alone for you, and he's headed back to join them. Well, that's not entirely true. Mr. J isn't the only person spotting this ridge. Yes, that is an E75. No, really. There's an E75 over here. Suddenly that 22% predicted chance of winning is starting to look pretty generous. Bots would have a better chance of winning a game than that. To be completely fair, the matchmaker has put 8 tank destroyers on Mr. J17's team, but, well, with all those tank destroyers digging foxholes on the ridgeline, with clear fields of fire right down into the centre of that valley, you'd think that they could have, between the 8 of them, done a little more than not hit a T49, not hit a Leopard prototype, and fail to kill a Sperrpanzer 1C. I mean, look at these guys. Artillery's going to be having fun with them, that much I can tell you. Well, Mr. J's, basically he's getting tired of this shit, so he's about to take matters into his own hands. He gets the kill on the Sperrpanzer, guns the engine. The E75 has actually made it down into the dead ground. Perhaps he's not as dumb as we thought. Anyway, there's the Leopard prototype. Now, he obviously knows that Mr. J's here. Mr. J's shot goes into the rocks, but he pulls back, avoids the return fire, and you can see all of these tank destroyers. Well, one of them, 2 of them have managed to hit the Leopard prototype. And now the T49. Mr. J needs this guy dead before he can advance any further. Puts one shot into him. T49 did not fire. He's obviously waiting for a much, much better shot. Mr. J's trying to con him into shooting. There we go. And he's got the kill. Took a big hit from something dug up on the ridgeline there. And unbelievably, oh no, they've just lost their first tank. 22% chance to win, and well, they're winning 3-1, but, well, yeah, 4-1. Wow, what's going on here? Well, I'll tell you exactly what's been going on here. There's a lot of heavy tanks on the enemy team, and, well, they're only just starting to make their appearance. The map's been pinged right there. Oh, how did they get over there undetected? Well, because nobody went out to stop them. So those heavies have, up until now, basically been spending the game driving north up to the top northwest corner of the map, fallen over with laughter when they realised there was absolutely nobody there to stop them, and they're now rolling pretty much uncontested right into Mr. J's base. So all those guys are going to have to evacuate their foxholes and do something about it. Mr. J looking for tank destroyers and enemy artillery, and he's found a tank destroyer. That's a very, very big tank destroyer. That's a Jaegeroo, and you really don't want to get hit by that thing in a T54 lightweight. This little tank is infamous for having a fairly tough turret for light tanks, but, well, it's not that tough. Not with a 170mm gun shooting at him. So, Mr. J decides, screw this, I'm getting the hell out of here. It's no good spotting a Jaegeroo parked behind a rock when nobody can hit him. Nobody else on the team appears to... Wow, they're actually still getting kills. Look at this, they're winning 6-2. What is going on? Well, I suspect I know what's going on, especially since nobody's actually trying to cap yet. What usually happens at the start of a match like this is somebody on the superior team, oh, Tiger 2, I don't think he's actually trying to cap here. I think he's coming down trying to intercept the T54 lightweight and get himself a kill. And this is what happens. Somebody on the superior team who has XVM installed says in team chat at the start of the match, guys, this is an 80% chance to win. And at that point, pretty much everybody stops trying to fight the enemy and they start fighting each other for the kills. Now, what usually happens when one team has a 22% predicted chance to win is the game's over in 5 minutes with a 15-0 scoreline. But sometimes, just every now and then, the superior team's greed for kills causes teamwork to go right out of the window, and they basically get in each other's way, trying to be the ones to farm all the damage and get all the kills on the tomato noobs. And that seems to be what's happening here. Again, I don't think that Tiger 2 came down here trying to cap. I suspect he came down here because he saw a T-54 lightweight crossing the field, but then he got kind of pinned down behind this rock by a whole bunch of tank destroyers. But what's happening now is, well, the Tiger 2's probably dead, but as long as he's here and he's capping, he's spotting targets for all of the surviving tank destroyers, including a Guerrilla 15 and a Jagdpanzer E100 up on the ridgeline over there. And let's not forget the enemy artillery as well, because while they have managed to kill that Tier 8 Tiger 2, no big surprise there, it's just cost them 3 Tier 9 tanks, their E75, their Su-122-54 and their Object 704. Things are about to start getting worse, because that T-49's haste to get up on the ridge and shoot something has just led him face first into a Guerrilla 15. Now Mr. J knows he's fired, he's trying to get up there and do some damage to him before he reloads, but he missed his first shot, and well, that Guerrilla 15 does have a pretty fast reload and a very fast aiming time for a tank destroyer, so rather than push his luck, Mr. J, again, he's trying to tempt this guy into coming out so that the rest of his team can shoot him up, but the Guerrilla 15 isn't having any of it. The Jaegeru, on the other hand, is. And that is almost going to cost Mr. J his life. The Jaeger did well over 1,000 damage and only took 406 damage in return. Mr. J again trying to get up there and see if he can get some shots into the Jaegeru before the Jaegeru reloads, but it's as if he forgot about the Guerrilla 15 and he has reloaded. And can the team kill him before he pulls back into cover? No, of course they can't, because it's a team of tomatoes after all, isn't it? So that's the end of Mr. J's game, but the scores are 10-8. This match is far from over. Meanwhile, back at the base, while the Jagdpanzer 2 is trying to infiltrate around the back of the enemy base, back in Mr. J's base we have 2 tank destroyers who still haven't left the same positions they occupied right at the start of the match. The UDES-3, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing the name of this thing correctly, Swedish Tier 9 tank destroyer, and the Jagdpanzer E100. And then the UDES-3 finally lurches into action, and oh, it looks like he's going to live. He's ripped his tracks off, of course, and he's just lucky that there are only 5 vehicles left on the enemy team, 3 of which are artillery, so he didn't get spotted doing that, or he would be very, very dead. But that was a ballsy move in a machine with as little health as that thing, going down a hill sideways, and yet, hey, if it's stupid but it works, well, it is still stupid. You were just lucky to get away with it. But let's not judge him too harshly, because unlike the Jagdpanzer E100, he is at least getting up his arse and heading over to the other side of the map in an attempt to back up that Jagdpanther 2. He's just nailed one of the enemy artillery, but is not going to live long enough to celebrate, unfortunately, as he gets taken out by the Jagdpanzer E100. And friendly artillery are doing their best to nail these two, but killing the Jagdpanther 2 just gave that Jaegeru his first confirmed kill, and the enemy Guerrilla 15's on a top gun. Little Swede here, very wisely not actually trying to take on the Jagdpanzer E100 or the Guerrilla 15, because he didn't know exactly where either of them were, and instead, well, he spotted the Jaegeru and he's waiting for his artillery to do the heavy lifting for him. And sure enough, the Object 261 fires blind, because he wasn't actually detected at the point where he fired, and he does manage to kill the Jagdpanzer E100. However, the enemy team have finally started taking things seriously and gotten all their shit into one sock. And somebody's capping. It's unlikely to be the Guerrilla 15. It's probably going to be the Lorraine artillery. And yep, there he is. A little Swede here, checking his flank just to make sure that the Guerrilla 15 isn't covering the Lorraine artillery, as the M40 takes the Lorraine 155 out. Meanwhile, wonders will never cease. The friendly Jagdpanzer E100 has finally gotten off his arse as he's figured out what his W key is for, and he's heading into the cap circle. And this, at this stage of the game, because there are just about 5 minutes left and it takes nearly 4 minutes to cap an encounter, this may actually be proof that there is intelligent life inside that Jaegeru, as he lumbers into the cap circle and applies the brakes. And that, of course, is going to put the pressure on the 2 remaining enemy tanks. One of them is going to have to start spotting the cap circle, and it's highly unlikely to be the T-92 artillery. So, if you were in that Guerrilla 15 and you needed to get eyes on whatever it was that was capping, where would you go? Well, he could be anywhere by now. He could have driven right past here, further up north, and be about to occupy a spotting position up there. Could be, but he isn't. And I think it's fairly safe to say that Little Swede and the Guerrilla 15 both had a brown alert moment right there, as they both lurch to a halt and miss each other. Now, who's got the faster reload? Well, mostly irrelevant, really, because the Guerrilla 15 only needs to hit Swede once, and Swede needs to hit him more than once. So he's leading them on a merry chase around the rock. One artillery's fired and missed, second artillery's fired and missed, but the Object 261, reliable as ever, fires and doesn't miss, and he brings the killing streak of the Guerrilla 15 to a very, very rapid end. So with just the T-92 left to kill, Little Swede goes hunting for him, because the Jagdpanzer E-100 is capping out, and, whoa, what happened? Why did he leave the cap circle? What is he doing? Well, you see, it turns out that our little friend in the Jagdpanzer E-100, he really likes using that W key. He's made it all the way up here to tier 10 without actually figuring out how to use it, and now he has figured out how to use it, well, he just can't seem to stop himself from using it. He's hammering that W key just for the sheer joy of moving forward for the first time in his World of Tanks career. Either that, or he's actually trying to beat a tier 9 Swedish tank destroyer to the kill on the T-92. Now, normally, when there's only one artillery left on the enemy team, I'd say, what the hell, go for it. I mean, you're unlikely to beat this guy to the kill, but anything can happen. But here's the thing. There are now precisely 3 minutes of this game left. It takes just over 4 minutes to solo cap on Encounter, and he left that cap circle with just 2 minutes of capping remaining, and he left that cap circle with 3.5 minutes of the game left. There he is. There's nothing up here. What are you doing? Hi, I heard there were tanks. Get back in the cap circle, you fool. Right, screw this. If you need a job doing properly, you're just going to have to do it yourself. But it's going to take more than Little Swede to successfully cap. Remember, it takes over 4 minutes to solo cap in encounter mode. Jagdpanzer, get your ass back down here. But no, he's still herpaderping around exactly the same ground that Little Swede here just covered, trying to find and kill that T-92. So the artillery are going to have to cap. But there's only 2 minutes of the game left. Comes as absolutely no surprise that the Object 261 is the first one to realise exactly what needs doing, and he gets his ass down. But, well, look at the timers. There's 1 minute and 46 seconds of this game left, and it's going to take more than 2 of them. And there goes the Jagdpanzer E-100. He's still trying to find the T-92. What are you doing, you window licker? Get in the cap circle. But is he coming? No, he's still... Well, at the very least we can say that there's a man who knows what he wants. And it's to find and kill that T-92. And it's definitely not to actually win this game. I think we're going to need to send for more artillery. And sure enough, here comes the GW Tiger P. Look at the timers. The capture progress is exactly 1 second behind the amount of time remaining. They need a third vehicle in the cap circle in the next minute, and they should do it. No thanks whatsoever, of course, to the Jaegeru. I mean, he had one job. One job. He made it into the cap circle. At that point, all he had to do was nothing, and they'd won. And he even managed to fuck that up. The enemy T-92, wherever he is, landed a shot right there. Now, the one thing that does tell us is that wherever he is, it's not where Herpicus McDurpington in the Jaegeru is looking to find him. So he's going to end this game disappointed, but hey, on the bright side, at least he got to stretch his legs for a bit and see a bit more of the map than he's used to seeing. So, you know, that's nice. Who knows, perhaps while he's out there he'll find the village that's missing its idiot, and it'll end well for everybody. But this game is over. The Killer Tomatoes have done it, but it was a bloody close thing. All I know is that's the first time I've seen a game end by 2 artillery capping when there were 2 tank destroyers left around on the team, but hey, World of Tanks, anything can happen. I hope you enjoyed today's video, folks, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.